You're done.
There's one to kill Homelander would evolve into some...
Fucking want to do this. Or we figure out how to kill him.
Stop!
Once it camps, you just focus on the shooter.
Gotta end at the stage, though.
Today, stunning news. We go behind the scenes of a power. Congress counts electoral votes.
Gets in an orderly fashion.
That's wall. I'm close.
Hey.
Hey, country barreling towards 1984.
At my great-grandmother.
Huh. I'm terrified of what... Hard yes, let's get married. Wow, that was great.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Look from Kansas, the parliamentarian.
You know, fuck. Oh. Show for it. I mean, singer. But real. Well, no, that's an interesting. What is real? I'm the one that gave you the juice. Bugging. You go all the way. Why would you? Come for you. God damn it. I always will be.
Those lean lad down. Don't fucking Sedona and no one. I proposed to Huey this morning. Oh, Christ. It's like a sociopath. 1 minute I was me and this friend shoplifting lip gloss. You all do it. Good and honest. Fault that I was a total cunt at the party, and it's not my fault. Come on. Power's working. You made it undeniable. Oh.
Oi, oi.
And then, you know, after that happens, they're...
About this place, Nevada. Then he nearly pissed himself when I told him.
We can figure this out.
Then would you?
It's for you.
This is in winter today. Oh, God. Excuse me.
Welcome to Your Hearts for being here.
That the real issue here is lack of representation.
It's all true. And our toddlers, but it is.
Interesting. All right.
I worked my whole life to keep that
World. Vicky.
did in 4 years.
That's who. The station gorgeous. And you're off. And of course I thought of that. On me or this 7.
That doesn't sound good, Ashley.
There's a joint session resolved.
Season on singer now. Frenchie, tell me you got.
You seeing this?
You all had another fucking choice. Trust me, I take it.
I hear everything.
Okay, wait a second. You got backups. Frenchie, you stay here. And now it's defense.
Why I'm calling for a new.
Wow, guess you gotta go take a...
You're almost.
Listen, Ryan. Yourself dead more times than I do on Billy. Here comes
Well, your dad is a...
Grace. Trying to do here. Now, if you'll tell...
This contract would have to pay out if they're...
Circle of trust. And we'll be sworn in. People will panic.
Hero, every fucking one.
Sorry, sir. I'm so sorry. I'm just...
No big thing.
Okay, well, you're coughing all... At the end of the day.
Stay sharp and follow motherfucking...
Pet pool. Idiot.
Do you really think the chef... Jesus.
It's like a furnace in there.
Do you want one?
I would love one.
You should.
Don't look at me, just look forward.
Okay, listen. The fate of...
That we did.
Decision I ever made in my life, so congratulations.
Huey, go yourself out. Could you? I don't know.
Nope, there's nothing on the news.
Because he's gonna hit.
Be president, and you will go have. I will make sure Zoe knows.
Zenny's the motherfucking genius of all. Hello?
Also found your fiance. Pried it off her fucking dead.
Had to be less than...
That's the Annie you want. Down to.
The final clue. In the bunker, you.
Homelander's unhinged. She's not even listening to say off my ass and get me and Zoe out.
Okay, fuck. Okay, so the leg thing wasn't me. And
No, I wanted to feel safe. I'll tell you where Zoe is. With you.
don't kill me. I can pay.
On the 7.
You're amazing.
That's good enough for me. Lee.
If there's even a 5% chance, just trying to do right by your kid.
It's in.
Blink at it. Forgiveness, letting go. The last thing my dad ever taught me, and I just think...
Fuck it. So, fuck. You get that virus in the Newman system. At least we ain't walking in blind. And you...
Look, Annie.
Shut up.
Even to Newman. How?
No, I can hear you.
They're gonna try again. And that virus. The assassination.
Grace.
And? Like, kill him? Dad? I have to go.
You can't leave. Safe house designed to hold people like you.
I help you.
You're locking me in a cage unless I.
Empty black hole inside. Please.
Grace.
You took your braces off.
And I go quiet.
Great, so... Never once asked you to trust me.
Ain't no fucking way.
No.
The vice president-elect,
He's right here.
Celebrating. Balls? But,
Singer himself ordering the federal agents.
trust me, boo. To see if I could. Next time, buckle up for phase 2.
Martial law and deputized
state starlighters embedded in America. Because today,
peacefully in their mother's arms. Monsters who want to destroy our...
Again. Proud. Africa super again.
The Boys Season 4 finale, formerly known as Assassination Run, is an intense, relentless adrenaline adventure that lasts the entire duration. The brilliant Season 4 finale sets the stage for what will undoubtedly be an incredible 5th and final season. The program seems to be back in full force after taking a little hiatus. We begin on January 6th, the day when Bob Singer is scheduled to be killed, with a VNN Today segment that discloses that, despite having been finished, training a train has been shelved. Colby Minifie's character Ashley is frank on camera when she says that Vought would receive a larger tax write-off if she didn't disclose it. Whoa, this is too personal. Still, let's #release the Bork cut. Concurrently, Frenchie, Toma Capone is under pressure from Mother's Milk, Laz Alonso to complete refining the superkilling virus. He keeps testing it on the severed leg stump of Kimiko, Karen Fukuhara. Bob Singer and Victoria Newman are firmly established as the President and Vice President of the United States on television when Speaker Calhoun, David Andrews, counts the ballots. Later, texts Huey, Jack Quaid in a panic, inquiring as to whether he has had access to the FBSA database. They have to find the ultimate shapeshifter who has been assigned to Singer's murder. The shifter Annie, Erin Moriarty, appears at the same moment wearing a blue ball gown. When Huey sees her dressed formally, he is shocked. Then Shifter Annie makes him a proposal. One more surprise. Huey takes Shifter Annie's engagement band off her finger and places it on hers. I regret that Huey wasted such a lovely and sincere speech on a fake. They then indulge in post-engagement excess. Shifter Annie is sleeping in bed when she feels her ring's flesh tearing off. She leaves to go feast on the actual Annie, I assume. Butcher, Carl Urban, awakens in a hospital bed in another scene. Jeffrey Dean Morgan's character Kessler keeps making fun of him for not taking over the virus and initiating a massive massacre. In the meantime, Homelander, Anthony Starr, who began amassing grey hairs at the start of the season, studies his collection. Next, Homie discovers in Ryan's backpack the framed picture of Butcher, Terra, and Becca. In a moment of wrath, Ryan, Cameron Crovetti hears Homie lasering their apartment. Later, in that rundown chamber, the real Annie struggles to take off her bindings. Annie, the shifter, storms in and demands to touch her in order to restore her beauty. Shifter Annie feeds into our fears, particularly those related to her abilities. Our Annie's skills are still lacking. Our Annie is accused by Shifter Annie of thinking she is morally better. More significantly, though, is that she boasts about having sex with Huey and shows our Annie her engagement ring. Upon Bob and Victoria's certification, insists that Frenchie continue pursuing the virus. Huey is freaking out because his files on Victoria have disappeared in the interim. I believe a shifter is at fault. Grace, Layla Robbins, goes to Butcher in another place. We find that she is to blame for the way he is being treated now. She invites Ryan to speak with Butcher in his room. Butcher acknowledges that his situation isn't looking good, but he assured Becca that he would keep Ryan safe. Ryan will accompany Grace, then. Ryan is adamant that Homie will eventually locate him. Grace gives him the assurance that it won't occur. Even though Ambrosius killed her, the deep, Chase Crawford is grieving for her loss. Homie receives a list of Vought workers from Ashley to terminate. Following that, Homie meets with Firecracker, Deep, Black Noir 2, Nathan Mitchell, and the 7, the 4. This time, Firecracker gives Homie extra milk, and it has a tinge of cilantro, laughs. Firecracker begins to cough throughout the conference. We find out that the drug she's taking is causing severe adverse effects, including lactate buildup. Homie then says that they have a plan in place. There will be a soups rally in every major city in the nation, Bob Singer will pass away, and Victoria will win the presidency. Make America super again is what's needed. Oh, and there is a list of Vought workers that are required to perish. Homie accepts Deep's suggestion that they include Ashley. When Ashley hears this outside, she runs away and heads straight for Homie's apartment. She gives herself a compound V injection. Her bones crack and change all of a sudden, and she falls to the ground. Later, Bob Singer's Jim Beaver property is reached by Kimiko, Huey, and Shifter Annie. Bob calls them IDJITS, which makes my heart glad since I love Supernatural. Huey eventually understands that Shifter Annie isn't his Annie while he's there. Her comment that she feels like she's in a furnace gives him away. In the previous episode, the shifter says just that. is told by Huey that Annie is their shifter. Abruptly, Shifter Annie begins thrashing the president's guards. Simultaneously, Annie manages to escape her limitations without using her abilities. Shifter Annie fights Kimiko, but Huey and make sure the president gets away with it all. Before our Annie shows there to save the day, Shifter Annie snaps Kimiko's neck. Following the escape of Huey, and the president, our Annie engages in a duel with shifter Annie, eventually strangling her to death. Annie seemed to be making progress on conquering her fears and her weak abilities. Just before both of the women go, Kimiko resurrects. Victoria phones Homelander in the meanwhile, saying their plan isn't going to work. Homie lashes out at her, telling her it has to work. For the remainder of Victoria's life, Homie will send her annual portions of her daughter if Victoria fails. Annie's wrist injuries from her shackles are later treated by It comes out that she was held hostage by the shifter for 10 days. Huey says he's sorry for not realizing he was, getting engaged to an Annie imposter and having sex. Frenchie has perfected the virus that kills Supermen. However, in unrelated news, Victoria begs Huey to let her go. She promises to step down quietly and vanish with her kid. Avoiding this game is the only way to win. Huey doesn't know if he can rely on Victoria. She has, after all, committed some horrifying crimes. In an act of good faith, Victoria says she'll let Huey know where Zoe is if he assists them in getting away. In another part of Seven Tower, our soups are killing 2 knowing Vought employees in a free-for-all. One of the authors, Evan Lambert, David Reel, is killed by Deep. However, Evan offers to pay Deep beforehand. I was really angry at Deep's comment about Evan being a writer and getting paid sh*T. Oh no, Black Noir 2, in the meantime, kills Ashley, Sabrina Sowden, who is not on the list. Huey informs the others that Victoria has joined their side. She may help destroy Homelander and Vought. The boys had some doubts about this idea. Huey, on the other hand, says he is sick of the violence and their dependence on it. He is forgiving to others. In order to beat the monsters, Huey wishes to act more like a human. Afterwards, Frenchie and Kimiko discuss Huey's remarks. So what if they are able to pardon themselves for their transgressions? They bring up Frenchie's past relationships and Kimiko's belief that she wasn't deserving of him. The kimchi kiss is the conclusion of this. Grace informs Ryan of the facts as Butcher and Ryan play Connect 4. Flight 37 is the responsibility of Homelander. Additionally, he planned Bob Singer's failed assassination. And in a serious crime that will affect Ryan more personally, Homelander sexually assaulted Becca. Ryan seems doubtful. He would much rather stay in Seven Tower, even after hearing this. Then, we find out they're in a super complex. Ryan motions for Grace to move aside. Ryan pushes Grace too hard when she tells him she loves him. She is killed by the push. Farewell, Grace Mallory. As Butcher stands over Grace's body, Ryan runs away. When Kessler resurfaces, they exchange perceptive glances. Grace informs Ryan of the facts as Butcher and Ryan play Connect 4. Flight 37 is the responsibility of Homelander. Additionally, he planned Bob Singer's failed assassination. And in a serious crime that will affect Ryan more personally, Homelander sexually assaulted Becca. Ryan seems doubtful. He would much rather stay in Seven Tower, even after hearing this. Then, we find out they're in a super complex. Ryan motions for Grace to move aside. Ryan pushes Grace too hard when she tells him she loves him. She is killed by the push. Farewell, Grace Mallory. As Butcher stands over Grace's body, Ryan runs away. When Kessler resurfaces, they exchange perceptive glances. Then, with the assurance that the gang will thank him later, Butcher steals the virus from Frenchie before heading off. Homie then turns on the TV, which announces that the White House is under lockdown due to Victoria's murder. Sage, Susan Hayward enters his chamber with a waltz. All of this, she says, is part of her strategy. Sage was unable to tell Homie this. Because she thought Victoria would have been a terrible patsy, she changed her story and accused Bob of killing Victoria. The boys are shown on the news as wanted suspects, and there is video of Bob berating Mother's Milk for not killing Victoria as he had instructed from the facility. Bob is carried out in handcuffs by the FBI. Sage then gives Homie the phone. We're talking to Speaker Calhoun. He is the next in line to become president since that Bob and Victoria are no longer involved. Calhoun is going to be Homie and Sage's ideal puppet. Homelander doesn't know why Sage came back after he let her go. She gives him credit for giving her the ability to use power like never before. President Calhoun does indeed give a speech. Declaring martial law, he intends to assign hundreds of superheroes across the country, all of whom will answer directly to Homelander. Homie moves Calhoun out of the way to speak to the nation. He claims he'll track down the perpetrators and attributes Victoria's passing to Starlighters. Huey, Mother's Milk, Annie, Frenchie, and Kimiko all split ways at the same moment. Everybody is in possession of a passport. MM is in the bathroom getting ready, while Frenchie and Kimiko are heading for a ship. Derek Johns' character, Love Sausage, throws MM to the ground as Vought officers apprehend him. As Huey and Annie travel down an empty road, Annie realizes her powers are fully restored. A boat then appears out of the sky, crashing into Huey and Annie. Huey is carted off by armed cops. When Cindy, S. Hotmoser, shows there, she taunts Annie. Then it appears that Frenchie and Kimiko are being ambushed by Sam, Asa German, and Kate, Maddie Phillips. Frenchie steps inside an armored truck after Kate whispers in his ear. Kimiko cries out as Sam restrains her. "No," she exclaims over and over. What a stirring moment. Butcher uses the virus in the passenger seat while traveling along a road in another scene. Seated behind him is Kessler. Homelander learns that Soldier Boy, Jensen Ackles, also known as Daddy Dearest, is still alive in the mid-credits sequence. He seems conflicted as he approaches the unconscious Soldier Boy.